Six, yeah. I mean, this has been 10 years, and every time we've done it, it's grown. For me, I keep on writing. I find new things. It's always great. But this one is special because it's Montgomery, and just the whole idea of being able to do this show. We've done it in Washington, D.C., in New York, Pasadena, St. Louis, Atlanta, Cincinnati, but we've never brought it to the place where the story started, and that's right here, Tuskegee.
And you got to go over to the airfield not too long
Oh, it
ago.
was amazing. I think it was our second or third day. We all met. Most of the actors didn't know each other. I have used two of them before in in various productions in Fly. I worked with another person in another play. But for the most part, people didn't know each other. So the idea of not just coming to Alabama and this amazing theater here, but also being able to get to know each other while getting to know Tuskegee and meet the people there, that was a blessing. That was a true blessing.
And for you, I'm sure it's special because you actually met and talked to many of the airmen, or a couple of the airmen at least.
You know, here, that's right, but I also met some, every time we do the show, I try to get Tuskegee Airmen into rehearsal to help us understand what it was like back then, not just in Alabama at the time, but also in Europe, North Africa, and Italy, where they were based. And then the fact that after all of that and risking their lives 20,000 feet in the air to then go back home and be greeted with the same racial hostility was heartbreaking. So I wanted to know from the inside what that felt like, and that's why the Tuskegee Airmen are so important in the process. In the process of doing a show, I think in Washington, I met a person who happened to be my cousin, and I didn't know that. He was somebody I studied in the books, and Elwood Driver, and I never put the two and two together. And then when somebody told me he's my cousin, and I met him, I called my mother, and I said, Elwood Driver, a Tuskegee Airman, I just met him. He's your cousin, right? She said, oh yeah, that's Woody. So it's been a treat. Dr. Roscoe Brown was one of the original Tuskegee Airmen also, and he's been my consultant from day one. And this is the first time we're doing a production without him having first come into rehearsal, and that's because he passed away last year. So we honor him and all the Tuskegee Airmen and women for what they did to inspire this story.
What do you hope audiences get out of this?
Inspiration, the fact that we can all fly, the fact that there are barriers between people, there are racial barriers, there are gender barriers, and there are generational barriers, there are barriers in terms of nations, and we're all fighting each other much more than we should be. Because, as Lorraine Hansberry once said, the ways in which we are the same far outweigh the ways in which we're different. But we're living at a time that's pretty rough right now because you got people fanning the flames of hatred and racism. And at the same time, while there will be those voices, there's got to also be the other voice rising up in favor of us doing this all together. And that is what the Tuskegee Airmen story was about. That's what Fly is about doing it together and realizing that you may think your particular struggle is a tough one. It is, yes, but there's always another one. The Tuskegee Airmen used to say that, yes, racism was horrible, but fascism is worse. And so what they wanted to do was go and fight for this country and fight against fascism, feeling that it will change things when it comes to racism in this country. It didn't, but gradually it did. They came before the Civil Rights Movement, before Rosa Parks, before Dr. King or Malcolm. They came before President Obama. They paved the way. And I want people to know that history, all people to know that history and be proud. But I also want all people to know that we have this ability in us to reach for our greatest potential and fly. And that's all I want. I want us all to sometime know that we could lift off from this ground when it gets too grounding and just fly into the sky that shows us all the wonderful possibilities of the human spirit.
How are you going to show that through